What's the story behind your Reddit username? I was told that I am the opposite of incredibly handsome. I'm so using that later without crediting you. Your very descriptive username needs no explanation. It was inspired by real life. I also remember being 15. I created my account in 2017 and I am a Redditor. I'm very observant. I'm in recovery. I respect the elderly. Colm is my name and there was already 4 Colms, so had to use Colm 5. I have a name. I had a dog, her name was Sadie. I want to change. No clue. I was thinking of a name to use for PlayStation, and after about an hour of sitting there, it just popped into my head. And I like the name so much that I use it for pretty much everything. Better than 10b holes. Edit, thanks for the shiny coins. First time. Wanted to see if it actually works. It actually works. Edit, so I walked back into range of my Wi-Fi router and my phone near exploded from all the alerts. To answer a few repeat questions. Yes, it does work. No, I don't share. Not because I'm selfish, but I'd rather not spread something that doesn't belong to me. Birds and man boobs show up less often than lady boobs. I have gotten people pretending to be other women. Ironically, I'm an ass man. Edit 2, thanks Reddit. This is now my most upvoted comment by a wide margin. Also, sorry for inspiring more PM_me accounts. To the inspired, be polite, be efficient, have a plan to kill everyone you meet. At least it works for someone. Good on you. Holy shit, it really does work. Just want to thank everyone who's commented and PM'd new tips. I was in a bit of a learning slump and now I just want to learn more so I can understand half of what these tips actually mean. Second edit, here are all the PMs I've received in a thread. A Japanese girl was in the hospital after the bombing of Hiroshima. She was certain she would live if she could fold 1,000 paper cranes. She died after folding 644. I saw a statue of her in Seattle where people had folded thousands of paper cranes. They get rained on and the city cleans up the soggy paper cranes, but more people keep folding more. Because I am. I wanted to order pizza. I was too broke to afford it. Update, since getting Reddit, I've befriended someone who orders pizza a lot. I still can't afford to order pizza on my own, but I do get to eat it sometimes now. He's a true friend. When I was 12, I was in a dark spot. I was sent to stay with relatives by my parents because I was such a mess. A family friend took me under his wing and helped me get through it. He was awesome and taught me D&D and how to take care of exotic birds. He taught me about tolerance and charity. He also performed as a drag queen, using the stage name Candy Acid. I have used this moniker as a handle from time to time since the internet became a thing. The original Candy Acid passed away in 1995. Architect was taken. Couldn't think of a name, ended up pressing the random button and got a weird username. Edit, thanks everybody for the cake day wishes. Wish I did that. I lurked on Reddit for quite a while before creating my username. It was supposed to be a reference to the fact I was more of a lurker than a user. Now, whenever I disagree with someone, I get the hilarious reply, should have stayed true to your username hue. Obviously this is followed by many upvoted and congratulatory comments on a brutal slaying of myself, and completely detracts from any actual conversation. I think my account is nearly 10 years old, that shit gets real old, real quick. Probably could have chosen something more unique, given how fucking long I've been hanging around this cesspool for. Fuck me, right. Should have stayed true to your username. Just kidding, haha. Mine isn't any better as it was a randomly selected username too. Dude, you totally fucking owned that guy. My dog's nickname. His name is Jerry, he had big balls, or baws in Scottish slang. I had to have them removed, felt really bad for him, and so in memory, he affectionately became Jerbaws or Gerbs for short. The dog yells, they took our gerbs. It was 6 years ago and I thought people would think it's funny that pizza is in my name. I hate 14-year-old me. I didn't even like pizza that much. LMAO, he has pizza in his name. ROFLLL. Yael is a woman in the Old Testament. She uses a hammer to drive a tent peg through a guy's head, and gets a song written about her, praising her and calling her blessed among women, the same title that would be much later applied to Mary, the mother of Christ. The Bible is fucking metal. I know. The guy in question is a military commander leading an attack on the Israelites, and part of the song is like, this guy's mama's gonna be staring out the window expecting his triumphant return but he's actually fucking dead. It's called the Song of Deborah, in the Book of Judges, and a lot of scholars think the song itself is one of the oldest parts of the Bible, from like over 3,000 years ago. I like it in part because it has two female characters, Yael and Deborah, being badasses, and because the Virgin Mary is so often portrayed as docile and subservient, yet she's given the title that was originally applied to this woman Yael, who was not those things. Paraphrased, obviously. I random generated this one. I liked it a lot so I just chose it. I like baths and geometry. When I was creating a backup email address, I used this name. Unfortunately, I somehow misspelled Twain and got Twain, but TBH, I actually prefer the latter. Ah yes, Mark Twain, Mark Twain's black doppelganger. If you tell the truth, you a sucker. Mark Twain, probably. I think usernames are stupid. At least mine is. Big Brother, is that you? Family Reunion. I'm a fuck you up. Oh god no. Yes. Good to know was already taken. It's a line from a movie that I say repeatedly at work. Do this, or I'll stick this pen in my aorta. Jabs pen in neck. Your aorta is in your chest. Pen click, good to know. My first and last name together make a major holiday. Chris M. Ass. Are you the T. Hank S. giving? Got tired of being called Kim Possible, Kim Kardashian, Kimberly, etc. One of my friends called me Smooth Criminal one day and I hogged it as fast as I could, hoping to stop the other nicknames. There was a marker. I have it now. My mom picked my username 45 years ago. Luckily it wasn't already taken. Well, my name is Summer. Every summer is a slut. And I thought my name was a little messed up. I wish I had your username. But you have free floss. I like D&D and marijuana. I have made some cringy jokes in my life and I have lots more to come. Edit, this is for you stud62. The worst joke I ever made was, how and why do guys get girls? They do it to get her. I hope you can see why my name is hinging on cringing. I tried like 5 different names and they were all taken. I wanted one without numbers and after like 10 tries this one was accepted. I like it, I think it's cute. Well, we do, don't we? I drink soy milk, I'm a dude who cross-dresses occasionally. Damn soy milk making the boys gay. Haha nah, I liked guys long before I started putting soy milk in my coffee. Damn gays making boys drink soy milk. Well, I don't get jokes easily and most of the stuff I read here take time to make sense to me. I reckon it describes me perfectly. My surname looks a lot like Tovanar, which means wizard. I started to use it in Clash of Clans and since there are wizards in the game, I thought, why not? Neutralize is taken so I looked down on what I was studying and it was about atom crap. First thing that hit my eye was neutron, so why not neutronize? Edig, also gonna add that I tried neutronized first but it was also taken so I removed AD, problem solved. I am lonely. I'll be your friend. Too much masturbation. It's the name of my PSN account and the year I created it. All online presence since has been under the same guise. Surely a PSN account should have more XX__XX in it. XXXXXX__Baba Ganoush___XXXXXX. I'm a nurse who crochets, and is usually grumpy. It is the model of a 1969 Gibson guitar I inherited from my grandmother. She was given it as a gift by my grandfather shortly before I was born and is the only thing I wanted from her estate. It came with a shakily handwritten note that says, "For my grandson XXX, remember me when you play." I'm a woman of small stature. I think cats are fantastic. And deserve a little salami. Little a salami. Okay, so back when I started Roblox I needed a username. My friend was like, pull a random Pokémon card from my tin. I pulled Empoleon. So I put it in Roblox but it was already used and it suggested Skinny Empoleon. I'm very creative. I made it when my so passed away. You might wonder how I ended up here. I am a sheep in society that follows what other people like. He's a minor character from a Terry Pratchett novel and has an amusing name. I delete Reddit accounts every year, so I have to come up with new ones. This is probably my 10th Reddit name. I like eating cheese alone. Koalas are fucking horrible animals. They have one of the smallest brain-to-body ratios of any mammal. Additionally, their brains are smooth. A brain is folded to increase the surface area for neurons. If you present a koala with leaves plucked from a branch, laid on a flat surface, the koala will not recognize it as food. They are too thick to adapt their feeding behavior to cope with change. In a room full of potential food, they can literally starve to death. This is not the token of an animal that is winning at life. Speaking of stupidity and food, one of the likely reasons for their primitive brains is the fact that additionally to being poisonous, eucalyptus leaves, the only thing they eat, have almost no nutritional value. They can't afford the extra energy to think. They sleep more than 80% of their fucking lives. When they are awake, all they do is eat, shit, and occasionally scream like fucking Satan. Because eucalyptus leaves hold such little nutritional value, koalas have to ferment the leaves in their guts for days on end. Unlike their brains, they have the largest hind gut-to-body ratio of any mammal. Many herbivorous mammals have adaptations to cope with harsh plant life taking its toll on their teeth. Rodents, for instance, have teeth that never stop growing. Some animals only have teeth on their lower jaw, grinding plant matter on bony plates in the tops of their mouths. Others have enlarged molars that distribute the wear and break down plant matter more efficiently. Koalas are no exception. When their teeth erode down to nothing, they resolve the situation by starving to death, because they're fucking terrible animals. Being mammals, koalas raise their joeys on milk, admittedly, one of the lowest milk yields to body ratio. There's a trend here. When the young joey needs to transition from rich, nourishing substances like milk, to eucalyptus, a plant that seems to be making it abundantly clear that it doesn't want to be eaten, it finds it does not have the necessary gut flora to digest the leaves. To remedy this, the young joey begins nuzzling its mother's anus until she leaks a little diarrhea, actually fecal pap, slightly less digested, which he then proceeds to slurp on. This partially digested plant matter gives him just what he needs to start developing his digestive system. Of course, he may not even have needed to bother nuzzling his mother. She may have been suffering from incontinence. Why? Because koalas are riddled with chlamydia. In some areas the infection rate is 80% or higher. This statistic isn't helped by the fact that one of the few other activities koalas will spend their precious energy on is rape. Despite being seasonal breeders, males seem to either not know or care, and will simply overpower a female regardless of whether she is ovulating. If she fights back, he may drag them both out of the tree, which brings us full circle back to the brain. Koalas have a higher than average quantity of cerebrospinal fluid in their brains. This is to protect their brains from injury, should they fall from a tree. An animal so thick it has its own little built-in special ed helmet. I fucking hate them. TLDR, koalas are stupid, leaky, STI-riddled sex offenders. But, hey. They look cute. If you ignore the terrifying snake eyes and terrifying feet. I'm an above-average-sized swimming pool. It's been the same everywhere. It asked to insert a username for 5 years. It's a mix of multiple things. I just came up with it randomly and I love it, lol. Eduardo from Buenos Aires. I like big butts and I cannot lie. It stands for The Holy Sandwich, UK, because the adjective object was a popular format for YouTubers at the time, and I'm British, which was important to me, for some reason. I've now changed it to Infrabread. A bad pun, much better laughing face. I go by the nickname Dayday, long story, and I really like Skittles, and Daedalus was the first thing on my mind as I was reading Greek mythology previously, so I just pieced the two together. All of my ex-boyfriends would say that I'm a pessimist. But I always thought I was just an optimist with depression. I also suck at spelling. I just really like ants. I thought it was funny. That's all. I wish I was a girl, that's about it. I love space and coffee. And cosmic latte is the name of the general color of space. Made this. I play music by a wide variety of composers. But at the end of the day, I always go back to Bach. Unprotected sex. I need a username. Looks around room. Bottle? No. Couch? No. Fridge? No. Coke? No. Pepsi? No. Shoes? No. Bong? No. Mom? No. 20 minutes later. Cum rag it is. The Proto-Indo-European root for a word that means to cross over or through. It gives us mundane words in English like through, trans, and even the trill in nostril, but it originally had metaphysical, cosmological significance as well, and was used anytime a word described a crossing over to another realm or plane. So Latin terrentum, a cave that was thought to be the gateway to the dead, Sanskrit tirtha, crossing place to the underworld, like at a river or cave, and avatar, when a god or deity, from either above or below, comes into this realm in another form, Greek nectar, the drink the gods drank to overcome death, and various names and epithets of storm gods or their adversaries, typically dragons, serpents, who essentially represented the battle between the forces of life and death especially. I personally believe it's the root of Tartarus as well, doubling in the kind of way we see in Neverland. Calvert Watkins called it the Indo-European eschatological verb par excellence. Cool. I used to live in a cabin. My old account was recognized by a random user from another forum where I used the same name, which had my photo as my avatar. I never found out who the user was, and they didn't try to contact me again, but I blew away the old account and had to kiss 11,035 karma goodbye. I've been a Redditor for about 8 years contrary to what my 4-year trophy says. I used a random word selector. Good question, see my art teenagers post. Meme clap review clap. Hey, Bleeding Shaft here, warning this is NSFW. I feel like this is my time to shine. Cracks knuckles. I'm going to shorten the story and basically butcher it cuz I have to go in a min, but here's a shot at it. Basically I went to meet up with that same FWB at the shops. We hadn't seen each other in 2 weeks and I only had time to pretty much have a short catch up and walk her back to her place. We don't have cars because college. So we are walking back along a busy road and all of a sudden I pulled her to the side behind a tree in the dark and we started making out. All of a sudden she dropped to her knees, pulled down my pants and started giving me the best head of my life. I have a public kink but I am normally not too into the real public stuff, more like somewhere where the odds of getting caught are highly unlikely. But this was very likely as we were just 10 meters from a busy road. At one point I had someone park their car near us and hop out and go into their house or something. Anyway, I was enjoying what was the best 2 minutes of my life when I felt myself coming close to climax. I was literally about to come when she got a bit too keen on one of the strokes and took it to the base. It felt like it stretched a little but wasn't a big deal at the time till I heard something that no man wants to hear when getting head, WTF there's blood. Hearing those words instantly frightened the erection out of me and I knew exactly what had happened. My banjo string had snapped. All of a sudden there we were on the street cleaning my dick blood off ourselves with tissues. It was not how I expected my Wednesday evening to go. It was surprisingly everywhere and bleed a lot. My FWB was so sorry but I put on a brave face and insisted that it was fine while cleaning some of my shaft blood off her lips. I felt so bad for her. I was terrified and screaming on the inside though. I walked her home, raced home to inspect the damage. There was a significant tear and lots of bleeding. I had to not have any sexual activity for 6 weeks which was hard and it never reconnected to the tissue and I have still got a scar but it works fine. Hurt like shit for a week though. Also hurt to go to the bathroom. On a side note though, I became a huge advocate of the sit-down wee. Had to do it for a week after the incident and even now on occasion I will use the sit-down wee. Mainly while drunk. Hope this wasn't too gross. My name followed by a bunch of underscores so I could use my name. Snorlax plus Mewtwo cuz I'm a Pokemon-loving dweeb. I love boobs. There used to be a sub called Opiate Roll Call. You posted looking for friends to help you find, well, heroin. I was a very friendly fellow and D-boy is just another way to say drug dealer. Dope boy. 4 years clean but for some reason I keep this account. It helps remind me where I came from. I am sloth and I'm exotic. Kinda obvious. There once was a story on Reddit about snails and $1 million, and it was the post that finally made me want to start commenting positing. I'm Kurdish and Wan is also a Kurdish name, with the J pronounced. It means young in my language, and the accurate spelling is Siwan. But I guess anyone else would read it as one Kurd. I have freckles and I make poor life choices, pretty self-explanatory. Because you don't give a shit about who I am. I like Soulja Boy. My brother and I were creating our accounts for Terria way back in the day and he was telling me not to use the same name that I used for everything, so I decided to serve a little malicious compliance and slam a bunch of letters in randomly. Well, somehow it ended up being something I could actually sound out, and that's how Sarawana Bukalamian was born. It's my old Club Penguin username. I still use this on Club Penguin rewritten. I'm an optimistic nihilist. Well, mostly optimistic, anyway. It's nonsense. I have 2 dogs and I am a Jethro Tull fan. My name is Albert and I scoop weed. Lactose intolerance. I'm lazy and uncreative. Actually, I needed a name, so I turned to my partner and said, make up a name, and because she's an annoying, adorable, beautiful, smart, light of my life, blah blah blah, little shit, she parroted, make up a name, back at me in a whiny high-pitched voice, and I went with it. This has not been an interesting story. Good day. Bob Ross and I have the same birthday, but I have boobs. Boobs. Ramen cannot fix me. New phraseology was forced on us for work. It has since been officially reverted to the old way for some of us. I accidentally said, imagine wagons, instead of, imagine dragons, to my friends, and they never stopped making fun of me. I like showing my tits. Thanks for watching our video. If you like it, please smash the subscribe and like button to support the channel, so that we can create more quality content in the future.